Picture this. You've been staring at your notes for 2 hours. You've read the same page 4 times. And yet, when you close the book, it's all gone. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's because nobody ever told you how your brain actually learns. And today, that changes. Because once you understand what's happening inside your head every single time you try to learn something new, you will never study the same way again. So get comfortable. Let's zoom in. Every single day, your brain is doing something extraordinary. It is physically rewiring itself, building new roads, strengthening old ones, connecting pieces of information together like the world's most powerful network. But here's what most schools never tell you. Not every brain builds those roads the same way. And if you've ever felt like learning was harder for you than everyone else, this video might just explain everything. So, what actually is learning? At its most basic level, learning is what happens when your neurons connect with other neurons. Those connections, they're called synapses. Now, here's where it gets mind-blowing. The number of possible connections in your brain runs into the quadrillions. That's 1 trillion times 1 trillion. Every time you learn something new, a new road gets built between your neurons. Every time you practice it, review it, or sleep on it, that road gets wider, stronger, faster. That's learning. That's your brain building roads. But how does new information actually get in? Step 1. The 5 gateways. Your brain receives information through 5 entry points. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, and what you touch. Every single lesson, conversation, and experience enters your brain through one or more of these 5 doors. But here's the part that changes everything. Step 2. The emotion filter. There is one thing that sits above all 5 senses. One thing that decides whether learning happens or whether it gets blocked entirely. And that thing is how you feel. If you feel anxious, bored, unsafe, or overwhelmed, your brain raises a wall. Information hits that wall and bounces off. But if you feel curious, safe, excited, or motivated, the wall comes down. The gates open, and learning flows in. This is why forcing yourself to study when you're exhausted or stressed almost never works. Your brain literally isn't ready to receive. Step 3. 2 types of brain. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Scientists have discovered that people tend to fall into one of 2 broad learning styles. Meet the first type, the ASL learner. That stands for auditory sequential learner. These are the structured thinkers. They love words, numbers, reading, and logic. They learn best by listening and following steps. They keep tidy notes. They tend to thrive in traditional school settings. Around 60% of students fall into this category. And here's the important bit. Most teachers are ASL learners too, which means most schools are built for this type. Now, meet the second type, the VSL learner. That stands for visual spatial learner. These are the big picture thinkers. They think in images, not words. They're creative, imaginative, emotionally expressive. They love music, art, drama, and building things. They can solve complex problems in their heads, but struggle to explain how. Around 40% of students are VSLs, and many of them spend their entire school life feeling like something is wrong with them. There isn't. Their brain just learns differently. Step 4. How your brain wires new knowledge. Here's a brilliant way to picture it. Imagine a field of tall grass. The first time you walk across it, it's hard going. You have to push through. But the second time, a faint path begins to form. The third time, easier still. Walk that path enough times, and eventually it becomes a clear, fast road. That's exactly what happens when you learn. Every time you revisit information, review your notes, explain it to someone else, practice a skill, that neural pathway gets stronger. This is why cramming the night before rarely works. You walk the path once, and the grass springs back by morning. Spaced repetition, coming back to something over several days, is how you build the road that lasts. So, which type of learner are you? Answer these 3 questions in your head. 1. When you remember something, do you see a picture of it, or do you hear words? 2. Is your bedroom desk tidy or gloriously chaotic? 3. When you were younger, did you love building things and drawing, or did you prefer reading and writing? If your answers lean visual and creative, you may well be a VSL learner. Here's what works brilliantly for you. Use color everywhere. Highlighters, colored pens, color-coded notes. Create diagrams, mind maps, and visual summaries. Keep your study space quiet. Noise breaks your concentration fast. Use flashcards with images on the back. Start with the big picture first, then fill in the details. If your answers lean verbal and structured, you're likely an ASL learner. Here's what works for you. Follow step-by-step instructions. Take detailed written notes. Read aloud to reinforce what you've heard. Use lists and structured outlines. Practice with timed exercises and quizzes. The most important thing to remember? Neither learning style is better. Both are brilliant. Both build extraordinary roads. They just need different maps to get there. Right. Trivia time. Did you know your brain produces roughly 12 to 25 watts of electricity? That's enough to power a small LED light. You are literally running on electricity right now. And here's one for your next study session. Research shows that even a short burst of physical exercise before studying can make your brain measurably more receptive to new information. So next time someone tells you to stop messing around and sit down to study, you can tell them the science says otherwise. So here's today's big question for you. Are you an ASL learner or a VSL learner? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if this video just explained something you felt your whole life but couldn't put into words, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Learning isn't about working harder. It's about understanding how your brain works and working with it, not against it. That's the SuperSpark difference. Until next time, keep asking the big questions. Keep sparking. See you in the next one.